from the outset of this window, that seemed to be the number one priority.
Yeah.
But the goalkeeping situation, that seems to be fluctuating from, we'll see if we've got any money left at the end of all our spending, to a big primary focus for Manchester United. But the number 9 does remain a big priority for Manchester United. And they remain in talks with Atalanta over the striker Rasmus Højlund, Denmark international, only 20 years of age. But as with Onana, a gap in valuation still exists between what Manchester United are prepared to pay and what Atalanta want. But there seems to be a willingness and a cautious optimism that maybe a deal can be struck, because I think United are getting encouraging signs, rather like with Onana, that Højlund would want to make that move to Old Trafford. I think United are also exploring other ways that they could do a deal. Maybe the possibility of loaning Amad Diallo to Atalanta. However, some of the noises we're hearing now as well is that Erik ten Hag, after his impressive season at Sunderland last season, wants to see him in pre-season first before making a decision on Amad Diallo. Diallo actually joined United from Atalanta a couple of seasons ago. So definitely one to watch. But United, without being confident, I think the direction of travel suggests that talks are going positively over Højlund.
And United's budget will be increased if they can get rid of some players during this window, for want of a better term. The likes of Captain Harry Maguire, he's going to come back for pre-season training in the next few days, and he's going to have a chat with Erik ten Hag about how he fits into his plans this season. It's incredible. The United captain started 8 Premier League matches last season. That's not good for Harry Maguire. He's a brilliant team man, but perhaps he does need to move on now. You wouldn't suspect he's a huge part of Erik ten Hag's plans. When you consider when defenders were injured, Harry Maguire wasn't necessarily the man that was called upon. Luke Shaw played a number of games at centre-back this season, Victor Lindelof as well. And there are other players like Fred, Fulham interested in him. I think there's a gap in the valuation that Fulham have of him and what Manchester United have. Scott McTominay, Anthony Martial, these are potential players that could leave for good money this summer. Manchester United are flying very close when it comes to financial fair play at the moment. Mason Mount's a player they brought in for £55 million. I think they'll think that was good business. They probably didn't want to spend that amount of money on a player out of contract next summer. But goalkeeper and striker are key priorities. They simply have to get right this summer. And I think if they can get rid of players that simply don't fit into Erik ten Hag's plans, despite the fact that the number of games they're going to have this season, then it does mean they're more likely to be able to get hold of players like Onana, spend the extra £5-10 million that may be needed. So at the moment, they simply can't, and they're trying to stick within what they have at the moment.
Yeah, just picking up on what James said there, we know about Manchester United's budgetary constraints during this summer's transfer window. We knew about it in January. We knew about it last summer as well, because effectively last summer they probably spent more than they thought they could. And as a result, we saw them, even though they needed a striker in January and Cristiano Ronaldo left in November, they effectively did stopgap measures with Wout Weghorst coming in, and they did a loan signing with Marcel Sabitzer as well in midfield. But the budget can be increased, as James said, if they can sell players. Now, recent memory, they haven't done fantastically well when it comes to getting big money in for some of their sales. But if they can get that right in this transfer window, then they are looking to bring in other players, and they'll be looking at other areas. I know they've already brought in Mason Mount in like the midfield attacking area, but another midfielder could be a focus for Manchester United. And Fiorentina's Sofian Amrabat performed so well for Morocco in the World Cup. Not so well in the Europa Conference League final when West Ham United beat Fiorentina, but he's one of a number of midfielders that Manchester United are looking at. But you think, just looking from the outside, it would require sales to increase that budget for them to be able to go for players like Amrabat.
But like you said, they've already got Mason Mount in. If they manage to get Onana, if they manage to get Højlund, if they then also manage to get Amrabat as well, is that a good window for Manchester United? That's a successful window for United?
I mean, at the start of the window, we were talking about maybe Harry Kane coming in to Manchester United, and maybe even talking about 2 strikers coming in at United, someone like Harry Kane and then somebody who could learn from Harry Kane. And we thought Højlund would fit that bill of having to learn the trade from someone like Harry Kane and then push through. As it stands now, if it's only going to be one striker and it's Højlund, is he ready now just to go in as Manchester United's number 9 and be the guy who performs there?